She found her own wedding invitation in her best friend's trash, soaked in blood and wrapped in black clothes. Zikora only came to return Amaka's cooking pot when she saw it. Her name, written in gold letters, staring back at her from the garbage. Her wedding invitation, the one she had personally delivered to Amaka just 3 days ago. She pulled it out with trembling fingers. The envelope was damp, sticky, and stained with something dark red that smelled like iron and dirt. Her stomach lurched. She knew that smell. She knew what that was. But why would her best friend do this to her? Her wedding invitation. In the bustling village of Umaka, where palm trees whispered secrets and market women could smell lies from 3 stores away, two girls grew up like twin yams with the same seed, Zikora and Amaka. They were born 3 days apart during the dry season of 1995. Zikora's mother delivered first, screaming prayers that made even the midwife smile. 3 days later, Amaka's mother bet her in silence, as if she knew this child would cause enough noise for a lifetime. From childhood, they were inseparable. Same primary school, same secondary school, sharing everything, books, lunch money, secrets, dreams. They would sit under the giant mango tree during break time, planning their futures with the seriousness of village elders. I will marry a man who drives a big car, Zikora would say, her eyes bright. And I will marry his best friend, Amaka would add, always following, always second. The pattern was set early. Zikora led, Amaka followed. Zikora shone, Amaka reflected. And for years, it seemed natural. But shadows grow longer as the day dies. By secondary school, Zikora had blossomed into something that made grown men forget their own names. Her skin glowed like fresh palm oil under sunlight. Her laugh could stop traffic on busy roads. Even the strictest teachers would smile when she raised her hand. Amaka watched it all. Every turned head, every lingering glance, every special treatment. She kept count like a careful accountant. When the school's most popular boy wrote Zikora a love letter, Amaka helped her with the rejection. When the headmaster's son sent flowers, Amaka threw them away. You are too good for all of them, Amaka would say, her smile never wavering. But late at night, she would stare at the ceiling and count Zikora's blessings like prayer beads. Beautiful face, 1. Perfect grades, 2. Teacher's favorite, 3. Boys falling at her feet, 4, 5, 6, 7. The counting never stopped. At university, they shared a room in the same hostel. Zikora studied mass communication. Amaka studied accounting. Zikora joined the drama club and became the star of every show. Amaka kept her books and waited in audience, clapping loudest when Zikora took her bows. You are so talented, people would tell Zikora after performances. Thank you, Zikora would reply. But Amaka is my backbone. I couldn't do any of this without her. Amaka would smile and nod, but inside, something bitter was taking root. His name was Tunde, but everyone called him T. He was a final year law student with a smile that could end wars and a voice that made hearts melt like butter in hot soup. He drove a red car that he'd bought with money from his phone business. The first time Tunde saw Zikora, she was performing in the university theatre. Something about her grace, her presence, the way she owned that stage made him forget he had come with another girl. After the show, he waited by the exit. Excuse me, he said when Zikora emerged, still glowing from the stage lights. I'm Tunde. That was incredible. Zikora looked at him, really looked, and felt something shift in her chest. He wasn't like other boys with their rehearsed lines. He was calm, confident, respectful. Thank you, she said simply. Could I buy you lunch tomorrow, just to talk? About theatre, about dreams, about anything. Amaka, standing right beside Zikora, might as well have been invisible. Tunde courted Zikora like a man who understood her worth. He brought her books by great writers. He took her to shows. in the city. He listened when she talked about her dreams of owning a media company. He never once tried to rush her. He's different, Zikora would tell Amaka during their late night talks. He sees me, really sees me. That's beautiful, Amaka would say, braiding Zikora's hair with gentle fingers. You deserve someone who appreciates you. But Amaka had noticed something else about Tunde. The way his eyes would drift to her when Zikora wasn't looking. The way he would ask about her studies with genuine interest. The way he sometimes seemed to see her. One evening, while Zikora was at rehearsal, Tunde came to drop off a book. She's not here, Amaka said, opening the door. Oh, he seemed genuinely disappointed. Could you give this to her? They stood there for a moment, silence stretching between them. You know, Amaka, you are an amazing friend to her. Not everyone will be so supportive. Zikora is like my sister, Amaka replied. Her happiness is my happiness. But as she closed the door, she wondered if that was still true. 2 years later, on a sunny evening after the graduation ceremony, Tunde put Zikora aside at the celebration restaurant. There's something I want to ask you, he said, his voice nervous for the first time. Amaka, walking behind him, slowed down to listen. Zikora, we've been together for years. I love everything about you, your strength, your dreams, your heart. I want to spend my life supporting those dreams. He dropped to one knee, right there, on the restaurant steps. Will you marry me? Zikora's hand flew to her mouth. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Yes, yes, yes. I will marry you. The crowd burst into applause. Someone started singing. Someone else began relating. Amaka stood frozen, watching her best friend get everything she had ever dreamed of. The man, the proposal, the fairy tale moments, all wrapped in perfection that would be remembered forever. She forced herself to smile, forced herself to clap, forced herself to hug Zikora and say how happy she was. But that night, alone in her room, Amaka cried for the first time in 10 years. The engagement period was beautiful torture. Zikora threw herself into wedding planning with pure joy. She chose December 15. Perfect weather, sweet palm wine, dry season magic. You have to be my chief bridesmaid, Zikora insisted. I can't imagine this without you. Amaka accepted gracefully, even as something inside her died. The preparation consumed their lives, dress fitting, venue visits, cake tasting. Zikora wanted perfection and Amaka helped with every detail. She went to the tailor in town for the dress fitting. She helped choose flowers, white roses and red hibiscus. But the worst part was watching Zikora and Tunde together. Their easy love, their shared glances, their quiet understanding. Everything Amaka had wanted was right there, belonging to someone else. The breaking point came 3 weeks before the wedding. They were having ice cream after a dress fitting when Zikora's eyes sparkled with a secret. I have something to tell you, she said. What? I'm pregnant. The ice cream turned to ash in Amaka's mouth. 2 months along, Zikora continued, rubbing her belly. Tunde doesn't know yet. I want to surprise him after the honeymoon. Amaka stared at her best friend. Beautiful, beloved, educated, engaged, and now carrying the promise of a new life. It was too much. The scales had tipped too far. Aren't you happy for me? Zikora asked, noticing Amaka's silence. Of course, Amaka managed, just overwhelmed with joy. That night, Amaka made a decision that would destroy everything. She picked up her phone and found the contact she'd been saving for months, Mama Ego, the powerful woman in Umora village, known for helping with delicate situations. Mama, it's Amaka. I need your help. Mama Ego's compound smelled of bitter herbs and ancient secrets. The old woman, whose age nobody knew, listened to Amaka's request without surprise. You want to stop a wedding, she said. I want to stop her from taking what should be mine. Child, love cannot be forced. You cannot make a man's heart choose you. Then make her unlovable. Make him see her true nature. Mama Ego studied Amaka carefully. Such work requires great sacrifice. What are you willing to give? Amaka didn't hesitate. Everything. The ritual was simple and terrible. Amaka provided Zikora's photo, hair from their shared brush, and something precious to her, the gold earring Zikora's father had given her for her graduation. Mama Ego placed this in a clay pot with herbs whose names made Amaka's skin crawl. Then she picked Amaka's finger and let her blood drip into the mixture while chanting words in a language that sounded like screaming. The curse will work through what she touches, the old woman explained. Take this cloth soaked in the mixture, place it where she will touch it daily. Her beauty will fade, her joy will turn to sorrow, her love will become fear. Amaka paid the fee and left without looking back. But Mama Ego called her after. Remember, child, what you send out returns to you threefold. Are you prepared for that price? Amaka didn't answer. She was already gone. The wedding invitations were printed on cream papers with gold letters, elegant announcements of Zikora and Tunde's union. Zikora personally delivered Amaka's invitation. Here, she said, glowing with happiness. The first one goes to my sister. Inside was a personal note. Dear Amaka, I can't imagine this day without you beside me. Thank you for being my strength. Love you always, Zikora. That night, following Mamego's instructions, Amaka took the invitation to her bathroom. She held it under running water while chanting words that felt like poison on her tongue. Then she let her monthly blood drip onto the wet paper, watching it mix with gold ink, turning it dark and evil. She wrapped the cursed invitation in the cloth soaked with ritual herbs and threw it in her trash, covering it with garbage. The spell was cast. The changes started immediately. Amaka began having nightmares, dreams of being chased through dark forests by creatures with no faces. She would wake up screaming, her body drenched in sweat that smelled like fear. It's just wedding stress, Tunde reassured her. But Zikora knew something was wrong. She felt watched, haunted. Food tasted like death. Even her reflection looked different. Still beautiful but fading, as if her light was being drained away. The wedding preparations continued, but Zikora's joy dimmed. She stopped eating properly. Dark circles appeared under her eyes. Her glowing skin turned dull and grey. You should see a doctor, Amaka suggested with perfect concern. Maybe you are anemic. 3 different doctors found nothing wrong. All tests came back normal, but Zikora wasn't normal. She was disappearing. 2 weeks before the wedding, she collapsed during her final dress fitting. At the hospital, doctors were confused. Her vitals were stable, but she lay unconscious for hours. When she woke up, her first words were, "Someone is trying to kill me." Zikora had always trusted her instincts. Now those instincts screamed danger. She began noticing things she'd missed before. The way Amaka watched her with eyes that didn't match her smile. The way certain objects felt cold when Amaka touched them. The way the air thickened when she was near. One day, desperate to understand what was happening, Zikora decided to clean everything in that shared space, looking for anything strange. She checked everywhere, under beds, in drawers, even in the trash. That's when she found it. Her wedding invitation was at the bottom of Amaka's garbage, wrapped in black clothes, stained with something that made her gag. She unwrapped it with shaking hands and nearly vomited at the smell. Metallic, rotten, pure evil. Her own wedding invitation defiled like a curse. Zikora sat on the floor, holding the ruined paper, and suddenly everything made sense. The nightmares, the weaknesses, the feeling of being haunted. Someone had cursed her. Someone with access to her personal things. Someone who shared her space. Someone who called her sister. Zikora didn't rush into accusations. She was too smart for that. Instead, she watched Amaka carefully, and what she saw chilled her to the bone. Amaka was enjoying her suffering. Behind the expression of concern were tiny smiles when Zikora stumbled. Satisfaction in her eyes when Zikora complained of pain. She was feeding off the destruction she had caused. 1 week before the wedding, Zikora was ready. Amaka, she said calmly one evening, I found something interesting. She pulled out her phone and showed photos of the stained invitation. Do you know anything about this? Amaka's face circled through shock, confusion, concern. But Zikora had known her for 20 years. She could read every lie. What is that? Where did you find it? In your trash. Silence filled the room. Amaka's mask began to crack. I don't know what you are talking about. Stop lying. Zikora's voice was quiet still. I know you caused me. Finally, the mask shattered. For a moment, Amaka's true face showed, twisted with jealousy, hatred, and relief at being caught. You don't know anything, Amaka whispered. I know enough. Why, Amaka? We were supposed to be sisters. Sisters? Amaka laughed like a breaking glass. Sisters don't make each other invisible. From the day we've met, I've been nothing but Zikora's friend. Never just Amaka. Always second, always forgotten. That's not. It's exactly that. Amaka stood up, towering over Zikora for the first time in their friendship. You took everything, every opportunity, every man's attention, and now you want the perfect life too? Marriage, babies, happiness, all of it just falls into your lap. So you tried to destroy me. I tried to make things fair. Zikora could have destroyed Amaka publicly, called the police, ruined her life, but she was strategic and had a better plan. The next morning, she went to see Mama Ego herself. Someone cursed me, she told the old woman. I want it reversed. Mama Ego examined her carefully. Reversal spells are dangerous. They send back everything that was sent to you, multiplied by 3. The one who caused you will suffer who's worse than they wished on you. Zikora thought about the nightmares, the fear, the wedding that should have been perfect, now tainted by the betrayal. Do it. The reversal required Zikora's blood and something belonging to Amaka. She used the bracelet Amaka had left in their bedroom. It is finished, Mama Ego said. In 3 days, she will feel everything she wished on you, but stronger. December 15th dawned perfect and bright. St. Joseph Cathedral was decorated with white roses and red hibiscus. Zikora looked radiant in her silk and lace gown. The nightmares had stopped, her glow had returned. But Amaka looked terrible, pale, shaking, hollow-eyed. She could barely stand during the ceremony. Are you sick? Zikora asked, though she knew exactly what was happening. Just tired, Amaka whispered, scratching her arms like something was crawling under her skin. During the reception, Amaka couldn't eat. She stared into space with empty eyes, while celebrations swelled around her. Your friend doesn't look well, Tunde observed during their first dance. No, Zikora agreed, watching Amaka with something that might have been pity. She doesn't. Zikora and Tunde honeymooned for 2 weeks, but cut it short when they got the call. Amaka was dying. She lay in the hospital, skin grey as ash, eyes sunken deep. She had lost 30 pounds in a month. The same nightmares that had tormented Zikora now consumed Amaka. But worse, creatures with claws and fangs chased her through endless darkness. All her tests are normal, the confused doctor said, but she's wasting away. When Amaka saw Zikora, tears rolled down her hollow cheeks. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. The dreams, they are killing me. I can't eat, can't sleep. Everything hurts. Zikora sat beside the bed. I know. Why did you come after what I did? Zikora looked at her childhood friend, now a skeleton wrapped in skin. Because I remember the girl who shared her lunch with me when I forgot mine, who walked me home when I was scared, before jealousy poisoned her heart. I can break the reversal, Zikora said, but only if you truly want to change. How? We both go back to Mama Ego. You confess everything and ask for forgiveness, not just from me, but from yourself. Amaka closed her sunken eyes. I don't deserve mercy. Maybe not, but I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it so I can sleep peacefully, knowing I tried to save my oldest friend. The healing ritual was exhausting. Both women had to relive every moment of pain, every betrayal, every poisonous thought. I cursed you because I hated myself, Amaka sobbed. I hated that I wasn't you. I reversed it because I was hurt and angry, Zikora admitted. I wanted you to suffer like I did. Do you both choose forgiveness? Mama Ego asked. It wasn't easy. Forgiveness never is. But they were tired of carrying poison. Yes, they said together. The release was immediate. Color returned to Amaka's face. The crushing weight lifted from her spirit. But Mama Ego had a final warning. Forgiveness breaks the curse, but not the scars. Trust is like a broken pot. You can fix it, but the cracks remain forever. Zikora lives in Lagos with Tunde and their 3 beautiful children. 5 years later, she owns a successful media company. They are blessed, whole, happy. Amaka lives alone in Abuja, working as a financial consultant. She never married, trust issues, her therapist says. She's still healing the broken part of herself, learning to love who she is instead of envying who she's not. The women exchanged birthday cards and holiday polite distance. They saved each other in the end. Zikora's forgiveness saved Amaka's life. Amaka's confession saved Zikora's peace of mind. But they are not friends. Some betrayals cut too deep. Some wounds leave scars that ache when some storms are coming. Jealousy is poison you drink, hoping someone else will die. Amaka's envy nearly destroyed both women. In trying to dim Zikora's light, she almost extinguished her own. Your blessing is not someone else's cause. Zikora's happiness didn't steal from Amaka's potential joy. There was room for both to shine, but jealousy blinded Amaka to her own possibilities. For 20 years, Amaka measured her worth against Zikora's life instead of building her own. She forgets that every journey is different. Forgiveness frees the forgiver. Zikora didn't forgive to absolve Amaka's guilt. She forgave to free herself from the prison of anger. Forgiveness isn't about trusting again. It's about refusing to let someone else's action continue poisoning your peace. Some friendships don't survive honesty. Not every relationship can be salvaged. Sometimes love means letting go, choosing your healing over holding on. Your destiny cannot be stolen. No cause can stop what belongs to you, but focusing on destroying others will destroy you first. The blood in the pawani was meant to poison the celebration instead. It became the medicine both women needed, bitter truths that led to healing, even if it couldn't restore what was broken. In the end, they both learned that the greatest magic isn't in curses or spells, but in the choices to forgive and the courage to let go. The end. Please, if you enjoyed this story, I'd love you to like, share, comment, and follow for more stories like this.